Imagine diving deep into the ocean, where the pressure is intense and the light barely reaches. This is where the deep-sea mining industry is setting its sights, targeting precious metals and minerals like cobalt and nickel that are essential for our tech-driven lives. But here's the kicker. While we're excited about these resources, we're also risking the delicate ecosystems that thrive in these dark depths. These underwater habitats are home to unique species that have adapted to extreme conditions, and disturbing them could lead to irreversible damage. It's a tricky balance. Our demand for resources is skyrocketing, but so is the need to protect these mysterious environments. As we explore the potential of deep-sea mining, we must ask ourselves, can we really afford to sacrifice the ocean's wonders for our convenience? It's a fascinating, yet daunting dilemma we need to tackle. Deep-sea mining, resource rush or ruin. To power our clean, green future, a massive treasure hunt is on, in the last unexplored frontier on Earth. Trillions of dollars worth of mineral wealth is just sitting there on the ocean floor, waiting to be scooped up. But the price of this treasure could be an environmental catastrophe we can never reverse. Are we about to fund our salvation by destroying a world we've barely even met? Section 1. The problem we all face. Look around you. The device you're watching this on. The promise of an electric car in every garage. The sprawling wind farms on the horizon, they all depend on a handful of critical minerals. Cobalt, nickel, copper, and manganese. They are, quite literally, the building blocks of the 21st century. For generations, we've gotten them the only way we knew how. By digging enormous holes in the ground. Terrestrial mining is one of the most destructive industries on the planet. It levels forests, contaminates water sources, and displaces whole communities. The supply chains for these minerals are often tangled up in just a few countries, creating geopolitical tensions and raising serious ethical questions about labor and environmental standards. And demand isn't just growing, it's exploding. To meet our climate goals, we're going to need staggering amounts of these metals. By some estimates, we'll need to mine more copper in the next 25 years than in all of human history. The electric vehicle revolution alone demands a massive surge in the global supply of nickel and cobalt. It's clear the green transition has a very dirty secret. Our hunger for these minerals is unsustainable. So, the world's most powerful nations and corporations have turned their eyes to a place that holds more of these metals than almost anywhere on land. A place of total darkness, crushing pressure, and unimaginable mystery. The deep ocean. Section 2. The trillion-dollar treasure on the seafloor. 4,000 to 6,000 meters below the waves. In a world without sunlight, lies a treasure trove that could help solve our mineral crisis. Here, vast, flat, expanses of the seafloor called abyssal plains are scattered with what are known as polymetallic nodules. They look like lumpy, dark potatoes, ranging from the size of a golf ball to a bowling ball. Over millions of years, they formed almost imperceptibly, as minerals in the seawater precipitate around tiny fragments like a shark tooth or a grain of sand. And they are packed with exactly what we need. High concentrations of manganese, nickel, cobalt, and copper. One area, in particular, has become the focus of this modern-day gold rush. The Clarion-Clipperton Zone, or CCZ. It's a colossal stretch of the Pacific Ocean floor between Hawaii and Mexico, spanning an area as wide as the continental United States. And it's littered with these nodules. The amount of cobalt, nickel, and manganese estimated to be in the CCZ is believed to rival or even exceed all known terrestrial reserves. The solution, as proposed by mining companies, sounds deceptively simple. Giant, remote-controlled vehicles, basically glorified vacuum cleaners, will crawl across the seabed. One common design will suck nodules into a collection system. From there, they're funneled into a miles-long pipe, a riser system, that brings them up to a surface vessel. On the ship, the nodules are separated, and the leftover sediment and water get pumped back into the ocean. Companies at the forefront, like the metals company, argue this is a cleaner, more ethical solution. No forests to clear, no mountains to move, no communities to displace, just a quiet harvest on the empty, muddy bottom of the sea. But the deep ocean is anything but empty, and the consequences of this harvest could be devastating. Asterisk, asterisk. Section 3. The unseen catastrophe. Asterisk, asterisk. The deep sea is the least explored environment on Earth. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about these abyssal plains. What we times do, times know, is that it is not a barren wasteland. It's a unique, fragile, and deeply interconnected ecosystem, home to creatures that seem ripped from science fiction. Those potato-sized nodules themselves are the foundation of this ecosystem. For thousands of miles, they are the only hard surface, providing a critical home for corals, sponges, and countless other organisms that need something solid to attach to. They are islands of life on the abyssal mud. The mining process doesn't just pick them up, it obliterates the entire habitat. Studies on small-scale test sites have shown that even decades later, these areas show almost no signs of recovery. And the direct destruction is just the start. The collector vehicles will kick up enormous clouds of fine sediment, creating suffocating underwater dust storms known as sediment plumes. These plumes can spread for tens or even hundreds of kilometers, choking and smothering marine life like filter-feeding corals and sponges far beyond the actual mining zone. Recent studies warn this waste could severely impact the entire marine food web, from the tiniest shrimp to the fish we eat, and could even release toxic heavy metals into the water. Then there's the pollution you can't see. The deep sea is a world of crushing silence and faint biological light. The constant 24/7 grind of heavy machinery and the vehicle's powerful lights will introduce an unprecedented level of noise and light pollution. This can disorient and disrupt the behavior of everything from whales and dolphins in the waters above to the bioluminescent creatures that use light to hunt and mate in the dark. Perhaps most ironically, an industry meant to help solve the climate crisis could make it worse. The deep ocean floor is one of the world's largest carbon sinks, holding vast amounts of carbon in its sediments. Disturbing this on an industrial scale risks releasing that stored carbon back into the water, and maybe even the atmosphere, reducing the ocean's ability to regulate our climate. This is not a contained operation. This is a planetary-scale experiment with potentially irreversible consequences. Scientists estimate thousands of species in the CCZ have yet to be discovered, meaning we could wipe them out before we even know they exist. Section 4. The Wild West on the high seas. So, who gets to decide if we do this? Mining in international waters, the so-called area, is governed by the International Seabed Authority, or ISA, a UN-affiliated body. The ISA has a dual and often conflicting mandate to regulate mining and to protect the marine environment, all while ensuring the financial benefits are shared as the common heritage of humankind. For years, the ISA has been slowly negotiating a mining code, a set of rules for commercial exploitation. But that process has been fraught with division. A growing coalition, now numbering 37 nations, including France, Germany, Spain, and Canada, is calling for a moratorium or a precautionary pause on all deep-sea mining until the science is clear. They're joined by over 950 scientists and major companies like Google, Samsung, BMW, and Volkswagen, who have all pledged not to use minerals sourced from the deep sea. On the other side are countries eager to start, including small island states like Nauru, who sponsor mining companies in hopes of economic revenue, and industrial powers, who see a strategic advantage. This stalemate has been simmering for years. The situation escalated dramatically in 2025. In a controversial move, President Trump signed an executive order authorizing the U.S. to issue its own deep-sea mining permits in international waters, a right most of the world does not recognize. This threatens to bypass the ISA entirely. Shortly after, the metals company announced it had applied for a commercial license directly through the United States. The move was widely condemned as an affront to international law, with some calling it environmental piracy. It has created a high-stakes geopolitical showdown, threatening to turn the deep sea into a lawless Wild West, where powerful nations could act alone. As of late 2025, the ISA has still not approved a mining code, and the world is holding its breath to see how it will respond to this challenge. Section 5. Is there a better way? With so much at stake, we have to ask a fundamental question. Is this frantic rush to the bottom of the ocean even necessary? The economic case is far from a sure thing. The upfront costs of developing and deploying this technology are astronomical, requiring billions in investment before a single nodule is sold. Mineral markets are notoriously volatile, and there's no guarantee that deep-sea minerals will be cost-competitive with land-based mining. More importantly, there's another path. Many experts argue that instead of seeking out new, destructive sources for minerals, we should be focusing on a circular economy. That means dramatically scaling up recycling of the metals we've already extracted, designing products like batteries to be easily disassembled and reused, and investing in new tech that uses fewer of these critical minerals in the first place. Right now, we are shockingly inefficient. We throw out millions of tons of electronics every year, a literal urban mine of precious metals that we fail to tap. A robust circular economy wouldn't just reduce the need for any times new mining, on land or in the sea. It would also cut waste and create new industries and jobs. It's a solution that tackles both the resource problem and the pollution problem at the same time. We are at a critical crossroads. On one path, there's a tempting shortcut to our resource problem, a treasure hunt that promises to power our green future with metals plucked from the ocean floor. On the other is the preservation of Earth's last great wilderness, a realm of profound mystery and unknown wonders that plays a vital role in the health of our planet. The decision we make on deep-sea mining won't be reversible. We can't replant a million-year-old ecosystem. We can't bring back species driven to extinction for the sake of a battery. The damage would be permanent. This isn't just a debate about technology or economics. It's a debate about our values. Do we risk destroying a world we don't know to sustain the one we do? Or do we have the wisdom and foresight to choose a different path, one of innovation, conservation, and respect for the one planet we all share? The choice is being made right now, in corporate boardrooms and at international summits. So what do you think? Is deep-sea mining a necessary evil to combat climate change? Or is it a catastrophic mistake we will live to regret? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.